Hello everybody, this is Will 2 Power, and I wanted to do a video today about something that I found to be really rather important to me when it comes to the development of iClone. I have been a part of the iClone community now for a while, and I have to say, first off, when it comes to animation packages for a hobbyist, pound for pound, I feel like iClone is probably 90% of everything I'd ever want as an indie animator. However, there are one or two things that I feel are important issues that need to be addressed before I would go all the way in terms of switching off of what I use now to going almost exclusively iClone. And one of the things, one of the most important things, is the way that iClone handles morphs. And I'm going to try and illustrate exactly what I'm talking about in this video. Forgive me, the screen is a little bit compressed because I'm trying to show both 3D Exchange and iClone at the same time because it just kind of simplifies things. What I have in the viewport in iClone is a Genesis 8 character that I converted. It's really not pertinent to this, but that's the character I chose to show and illustrate what I'm talking about. And what I'm going to show you is, starting off, we're going to go into the Morph Animation tab. If you go in the Morph Animation tab, you will see right now, as the character is imported in iClone, there are no morphs available in the Morph Animator. And that's the problem. So you see, that's not exactly correct. This model or this avatar actually does have morphs already as a part of it. And this is the shortcoming of the Morph Animation setup that I think really needs to be addressed and changed. Now I'm going to show you the other part of what I'm talking about. When I said that, yes, there are no morphs available in the Morph Animation tab for this model. That's fine. But what I want to show you is this. I'm going to click and drag the icon into 3D Exchange so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now that you see it in 3D Exchange, something's going to become glaringly obvious to those people who know what I'm talking about. And that is, in fact, that there are blend shapes already attached to this figure. You see, if you look, I'm selecting a few. The face animations keys that are brought in are all available as a part of the avatar file. However, they're not available to you when you go into the Morph Animation tab. And they should be. It's kind of counterproductive for you to have morphs and then have to re-export them and re-import them in order to have access to what you already have as a part of your avatar in iClone. You see, if I wanted to take, let's just say, this expression. If I wanted to take this from 3D Exchange and get it to the Morph Animator, the first thing I have to do is I have to go and export the blend shape. At that point, then I would have to re-import it into the Morph Creator tab in order to be able to utilize it. The only problem with that is that you basically have two versions of the same morph, doubling the size of the file. So if I wanted to have complete access to all of the facial animation ticks in iClone, I would have to export each morph and then re-import them into the morph editor in order to have access to them. And that doesn't make any sense. That's what needs to change. iClone, I can see where they started in the beginning to have a couple of different applications that specialize in doing what they do. But when they brought Morph Animation into iClone, they should have given some more thought to what you already have in existence in order to make it a really incredible and powerful tool. It's very robust as it stands, but this one shortcoming makes for a lot of extra work on the animator side, because you have morphs, you go through the process of creating the morphs and everything and bringing them in as a part of your character, and it's inefficient to have morphs in the character that you don't have access to in iClone, even though they're already a part of the iAvatar file. And that, I think, is what needs to change, and I'm hoping to raise awareness of this shortcoming so that the folks at Reallusion will see the frustration that they produce in the way they set up iClone for use for the community at large. This needs to be something where you have complete control of the morphs that you have or that you created for your avatars, and they need to just get out of the way and let us have full access to the morphs in iClone, instead of going on this roundabout way of having a Morph Animation tab and then having the custom morphs that you can use in the way that they allow you to use them in iClone. It really needs to be rethought, and just my personal opinion, I feel like the way to do that is to forget all of the 3D Exchange and Morph Animation tabs and just give you access to all of your morphs. That way, you don't have to go through this every single time you want to use something you've already created. So, me as an animator, if I wanted to have 5 or 6 characters in a scene and want to be able to access the facial morphs of every single character because I'm OCD and I want to have full control as I go through my animations and stuff, I would actually have to go back and re-export each facial tick one by one and then import them in order to have access to them in the Morph Animation tab. And that's not efficient. That's a drawback that I see to using iClone that should be addressed. It really should be where if the morph is available as a part of your iAvatar, it should be available in the Morph Animator tab without you having to do a whole bunch of extra steps. Or they could do something even as simple as including in the face setup tab a send to Morph Animator button that would allow you to pick and choose whichever ones you want to have and send them one at a time or in a group to the Morph Animator tab. You can basically, through the programming of the software, cut out a lot of extra steps that are not being thought or are not well thought out when it comes to making this into something that really cooks. And I think that a lot of other people agree with me that if you have your morphs, if you create your morphs and you brought them in as part of 3D Exchange, you should have complete access to them. There's just no other way to say it. You should have complete access to what you bring in and what is available to the native content creator characters and the figures that are already a part of iClone. There's no reason to separate the Morph Animator from the morphs that are already available as a part of the figure. So you can chime in with me if you like. I'll leave a link in the bottom of the in description so that you can see the issue that I've raised in the feedback tracker. And if you want, attach your name to it and let them know. We want to have our morphs available to us in the Morph Animator tab. We don't want to have to go through extra steps in order to get what we already have created into the Morph Animation tab to use. Thanks a lot.